Hi everyone, my name is Terry Westwell and today is Tuesday, which means it's time to discuss our book of the week, which is Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. First, this is a spoiler-free section, so if you haven't read this book yet, don't worry about it won't be spoiled for you here. There will be some spoiler-related things that I want to discuss, but that'll be later on in the video and you will get plenty of warning. If you'd like to join in on any of these discussions, send me your thoughts, comments, or even a short video clip of you discussing the book, then I'll list the next upcoming 4 books in the description below. So if you can't already tell, I've been a little unwell this last week, so I'm sorry if my voice goes. Now, I will admit that I had really high expectations for this one. I loved Once Upon a Broken Heart, so I don't know, perhaps this one never really stood a chance to live up to that, but I still really enjoyed it. I ended up rating Alchemy of Secrets 3.75 stars. It's got that sort of whimsical, dreamy writing style that Stephanie Garber is known for. It's full of magic and secrets and those emotional little gut punches. I liked the characters and the twists, and honestly I thought the ending was fantastic. It just dragged a little for me in the middle. It's just that there were some stretches where the pacing dipped and it felt like we were circling the same moments over and over again. Still, by the time we reached the end, I was really glad that I stuck with it. Okay, so without giving too much away, Alchemy of Secrets follows this young woman who ends up getting caught in this world of magic, secrets and betrayal. A world where illusion and reality sort of blur together. Okay, so like a lot of Stephanie Garber's other books, this one is full of enchanted settings, beautiful imagery, and emotional stakes that tie together magic with love, loss and trust. There are secrets behind every door, bargains that come with a price, and characters that are rarely what they seem. If I had to compare this to any other book, I'd probably say that it reminds me quite a lot of Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I think it has this similar sort of dark allure of this beautiful yet deadly world where all characters seem to have their own motives. I wouldn't say that it is as politically sharp or as dark as The Cruel Prince, but I think it does share some of that fairy tale edge that is whimsical yet kind of cruel at the same time. I'd also say that it's a little bit more romantic and dreamy like Once Upon a Broken Heart, but in a more grounded setting. One of the things that I really appreciate about Stephanie Garber's writing is just how immersive and accessible it is. Even if I'm not completely gripped by the story, I still loved the way that it was written. I think it's very poetic and sensory while still being very easy to read. That said, I do think that this one leaned more towards mystery and emotional themes rather than full-scale world building like some of her other books. It was still beautifully done, it was just a much tighter focus, but sometimes I think I found myself missing that enchanted feeling that I got from Once Upon a Broken Heart. Now the pacing is where it lost me a little bit. The beginning was really intriguing and the ending was fantastic. It did just feel like in the middle it dragged a little bit. I think it was just because it felt like there was a lot of repetition, a lot of similar conversations and similar emotional beats, and I just found myself wishing that it would move along a little bit quicker. The characters were solid, I did like them, it's just, I don't know, I wasn't as emotionally invested in them as I was perhaps some of her other leads. They did have depth, but I don't know, something about them just didn't stick with me after I'd finished it. However, when the twists started coming in like the last third, I was reminded why I like Stephanie Garber's writing so much. She knows how to plant clues and pull the rug out from under you in a way that feels really satisfying. I mean, some reveals I did see coming, but others I really didn't. So as for the question, would I recommend the book? Yes, I would. It might not be my absolute favourite Stephanie Garber book, however, I think it's still a solid fantasy with beautiful writing and great twists. Like, if you already love her signature mix of romance, magic and mystery, then there'll definitely be something in this that you'll enjoy. And will I be reading any more by Stephanie Garber? Absolutely. I mean, this one might not have been my absolute favourite, however, I love the worlds that she creates, and I loved Once Upon a Broken Heart, so I'll absolutely be reading whatever she writes next. So earlier in the video, I said that you get plenty of warning for any upcoming spoilers. This is that moment, so if you haven't read this book yet, I would suggest going doing that first, because beyond this point there will absolutely be spoilers. Okay, so let's talk about the ending, because those last twists were some of the best things about this book. The fact that she'd been repeatedly doing the same day over and over again was great. Honestly, not one of the reasons that ever crossed my mind for her nosebleeds and her visions. I think it just tied everything together in a way that was very satisfying, yet still kind of open to interpretation. It had that signature Garber mix of hope and heartbreak that I think she does very well. I also like how some of the secrets we thought we knew were totally different by the end, and I don't know, even though I saw some of it coming, I didn't see the overall picture until the very end, which I love. That said, I do think that the book could have benefited from trimming a little bit from the middle. I mean, the ending probably would have hit that little bit harder if the pacing had stayed tighter. Still, I closed the book smiling, and that's always a good sign. So overall, Alchemy of Secrets gets 3.75 stars from me. It's a beautiful, emotional fantasy that is full of intrigue and magic, and although the pacing did lag a little bit for me and personally didn't quite reach the same heights as Once Upon a Broken Heart, I think that it's still a really solid and enchanted story from Stephanie Garber. But let me know what you thought. Did you enjoy the book? Next week we'll be discussing Let's Split Up by Bill Wood. So don't forget to get your thoughts and comments in by Sunday the 16th of November at the latest to be a part of the discussion. You can now do this on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram or Discord. The following week will be First Time Caller, but don't forget if you do need a little bit longer to read a book, we do now list the next 4 books down below, along with the discussion dates. That way you can choose the genre that best suits you, and the best time frame to read it in. Thank you all for joining, and if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, it's always appreciated, and I will see you next week. Bye! If you like romance, fantasy, or even thriller, basically anything fiction book related, then I suggest you head on over to the channel's intro video, where you can find out more information on how you can take part in this online book club. We announce books at least 4 weeks in advance, and we accept your bookish feedback in a wide manner of ways. Post your comment below a video, send in a voice note, or even send me a short video clip of you discussing the book. Alternatively, you can just send me a direct message.